Hello students, this is Neha Mathur and today in this video I will let you know about SR flip-flop. Before starting the topic, consider to subscribe my channel and click on bell icon to get updated for the upcoming videos. Fine. So now we'll start SR flip-flop, which is the first type of flip-flop except JK flip-flop, D flip-flop or T flip-flop. So the first type is SR flip-flop, in which S stands for set and R means reset. So flip-flop, which is basically used to store single bit of data, so we are going to deal with its circuit diagram, in which you will have 4 NAND gates. Its circuit looks like this. The same circuit can be implemented using NOR gate, but here I am taking NAND gate. So SR flip-flops, that means this circuit will have 2 inputs represented by S and R. The back gates is in the form of cross coupling structure. See, I am again repeating SR flip-flop. I am drawing SR flip-flop with the help of 4 NAND gates. The first gate is G1, the second gate is G2, the third gate is G3 and the fourth gate is G4. Now these first 2 NAND gates is directly connected with its main inputs S, that means set, and R, reset, while the back NAND gates is in the form of cross coupling structure, and here you will have 2 outputs represented by Q and Q bar. Now what is the meaning of cross coupling? The output of this gate is connected with the input of here. Similarly, the output of G4 is connected with the input of G2. So the back structure is in the form of cross coupling because the flip-flop is able to stand its own property with the help of cross coupling structure. So it is essential part of all the type of flip-flops. This is the basic building diagram, basic section of any type of the flip-flop. So cross coupling structure is connected with 2 additional gates. Fine. Now what about its working? See, here you have 2 inputs, that means S, R, 2 inputs, and the value of these 2 inputs in the form of binary inputs may be 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0 and 1, 1. So the working of this circuit can be classified or explained with the help of 4 cases by taking one by one combination of inputs. In the first case, I am taking S is equals to 0 and R is also 0. So what will be the actual working of this circuit when both the applied inputs is equals to 0? Fine. The second case, when S is equals to 0 and R is equals to 1, similarly we will deal with next 2 cases, when S is equals to 1 and R is equals to 0, and your fourth case, when S is equals to R is equals to 1. Fine. So we will start with one by one. Now see, when S is equals to 1, S and R both is equals to 0, that means all the gates working over here is treated as inverter designed with the help of NAND gate. So inverter is itself a gate which invert its applied input. So G1, when 0 is applied at its input, that the output of G1 will be 1. Similarly, R is equals to 0, so G3 with R is equals to 0 input, the output of the G3 will be 1. Now this one is coming from here and applied at one of the input of G2. So G2 with 2 inputs, the 1 is coming from G1 while 2 is not defined. Similarly for the G4, the 1 input is coming from G3 while second input is not defined. Now the NAND gate which is working as an inverter over here, now you cannot define or you cannot predict the output of G2 and G4 just because the absence of second input. Here for the G2 input the second input is missing. Similarly for the G4 gate second input is missing because this input is the output of G4. Similarly this input is the output of Q. So for the calculation of both these two gates you will have to assume Q and Q bar initially, and initially I am considering Q is equals to 0. So if your Q is equals to 0, that means the second input for G4 will be 0. So now the first gate is 1, first input is 1 while the second input is 0. Now this NAND gate with two inputs, one is 0 and second is 1. As per the Boolean expression of the NAND gate, if you have two inputs A and B, then as per the Boolean expression of the NAND gate, the output will be complement of product of both the gates. This is the already defined expression of the NAND gate, as you already know. So this expression or this formula is applicable for both the gates. So with the help of this formula you can say that 0 is multiplied by 1, so it will be 0 and its complement will be 1. So your Q bar will be 1. Now this Q bar is a input for this G2. So G2 will execute itself for two inputs. The one input is 1 and the second input is also 1, and their complement after their product will be 1's complement, that means 0. So your Q is already 0. So you can say that the calculation of this circuit depends on the value you are assuming over here. So you can say when Q is equals to 0, your Q bar will be 1. Similarly, if initially you are assuming Q is equals to 1, so now what will happen? See, Q is equals to 1. So for the G4 with two inputs, one first input is 1, second is also 1. So 1 dot 1, it will be 1 and its complement will be 0. So your Q bar will be 0. Now this 0 is working as an input for G2. So G2 with first input 1 and second input is 0 and it will be 0's complement, that means 1. So 1. So you can say that when Q is equals to 1, your Q bar will be 0. Now see, initially if you are assuming your Q is equals to 0, it will maintain its state by following Q is equals to 0 and Q bar is equals to 1. Similarly, if you are initially assuming Q is equals to 1, it will be maintained at the end of the working. This is the first case. Now come with the second case when S is equals to 0. So S is equals to 0 and R is equals to 1. Now see, what will be the output of the G1? G1, which is working as an inverter, it will invert its applied input, so it will be 1. Similarly G3, it will again invert its applied input, which is 1, so it will be 0. So 1 and 0. Now come to previous back gates. G2 gate with one input, which is 1, and second input is not defined. But for G4, the one input is 0 and again second input is not defined, but there is no need to define or there is no need to assume any value for G4. While I am saying this, because see, since its one input is 0, so let us assume that the second input is 0. If it is 0, their product will be 0. Similarly, if it is 1, product will be 0. So if any of the input of NAND gate is 0, then there is no need to assume the second input, because the output will be always 1, because 0 is multiplied by any of the digit, the complement of the 0 is always will be 1. So now there is no need to initially assume what will be the Q. There is no need to assumption. With the help of this single input, you can define that the output of the G4 will be 1. So it will be 1. Now for the calculation of this gate, second input is also needed, and we are getting this input from here. Now 1, and this is also 1. So 1 dot 1 complement with complement, it will be 0. So your Q will be 0. So you can say that for this case your Q is equals to 0 and your Q bar is equals to 1. Fine. This is the second case which can be executed without any assumption of Q and Q bar. Fine. Now come with the third case. In third case, you have S is equals to 1 and R is equals to 0. Now the output of the G1, its complement, it will be 0. Similarly, it will be 1 because input is 0. Now again, for the calculation of G2, the one input is 0, and I am again repeating, there is no need to assume second input, because if one input is 0, then its output will always be 1, because if 0 is multiplied by 0 itself or 1 itself, the product will be 0 and the complement of 0 is always 1. So you can directly execute this gate if one of its input is 0. So your output is 1. Now this 1 is working as a second input of G4. Now you have both the inputs for the G4, which is 1. So what will be the Q bar? It will be 1 dot 1 with complement. So it will be 1's complement, that means 0. So your Q bar will be 0. So for the third case, you can say that Q is equals to 1 and Q bar is 0. This is the explanation for third case. Now come with the fourth case, in which both S and R is equals to 0. See, S and R is equals to 1. See, since S is equals to 1, the output of the G1 will be 0 because it is working as an inverter. Similarly, the output of the G3 will also be 0 because it is also working as an inverter. Now, since for the G2 gate, its one input is 0. Similarly, for the G4 gate, its one input is 0. So you can directly come with the conclusion that its output will be 1 because its one input is 0. Similarly, the output of the G4 will also be 1 because its one input is 0. Now see, with this case, what we are calculating, when S is equals to R and S is equals to 1 and R is equals to also 1, then both Q and Q bar is equals to 1, which is not possible practically, because as I told you in the basics of flip-flop that Q and Q bar always should be complement to each other, while in this case what you are observing that both is equals to 1, which is practically not possible. So here Q is equals to Q bar is equals to 1, and such kind of state cannot be defined. So this kind of situation comes under undefined condition, while in first case you are observing that when Q is equals to 0, your Q bar is equals to 1, and Q is equals to 1, then Q bar is equals to 0. Similarly, for the second case, Q is equals to 0 and Q bar 1. Here Q is equals to 1 and Q bar is equals to 0. In all the cases you are getting Q and Q bar in its complement form, while in this case its complement form is not possible. So this comes under undefined condition. Now we will make a truth table in which I will mention all the cases we are drawing from here. So suppose here I am drawing a table in which you will have inputs in the form of S and R with 0 0 0 1 1 1 1 0 and 1 1 input combination, while your outputs are Q and Q bar. See, now come with second case. When S is equals to 0 and your R is 1, then Q is equals to 0 and Q bar is 1. Such states in which your Q is equals to 0 is said to be reset state, while your third case in which S is equals to 1 and R is equals to 0, you will get your Q is equals to 1 and Q bar is equals to 0. So when main in output, which is Q, is equals to 1, such state is said to be set state. So with SR flip flop, when you are getting 0 at its output with S is equals to 0 and R is equals to 1, such state is said to be reset state, while for the same condition when Q is equals to 1 with S is equals to 1 and R is equals to 0, this will come under the category of set state. This is the reason SR flip flop is said to be set reset flip flop, because it switch between these two states. Now come with the case first. See, when S is equals to 0 and R is equals to 1, you cannot assume, you cannot calculate even, you cannot calculate what will be your output without initial assumption. So if initially you are taking Q is equals to 0, your Q bar will be 1, and if you are initially assuming your Q is equals to 1, then your Q bar will be 0. So there is no possibility to directly calculate Q and Q bar in first case. This is the reason this case comes under previous state condition. That means here the calculation of the output depends on previous state. So when S is equals to R is equals to 0, this comes under the category where output depends on its previous states. What will be the previous state? That means what will be the our assumptions for Q and Q bar. So for this case I am considering, or I am writing here previous state, because it depends totally on assumption. For second case this is with reset, while for the third case it will come under set state. Now what about your fourth case? When S and R both is equals to 1, your outputs Q and Q bar will be 1, which is practically not possible. So such case come under the category of undefined state. You can say undefined or prohibited state, because such kind of case is strictly prohibited. So hope you are clear with the concept of SR flip flop, and I am again repeating. In first case, when both the S and R is equals to 0, the calculation of output is not possible without its previous assumption. This is the reason the first case comes under the category of previous state, while for the second case, when S is equals to 0 and R is equals to 1, such case comes under the category of reset state, while when S is equals to 1 and R is equals to 0, it will provide your Q is equals to 1 and Q bar is equals to 0 with set state condition. While for the fourth case, when both S and R is equals to 1, your both the outputs Q and Q bar, which should be actually complement to each other, and we are not getting its complement property over here. So such category comes under the category of prohibited state or undefined state. This is the basic concept of SR flip flop. Now the main issue with this circuit or with this explanation is its fourth state. Circuit is okay, or circuit is working well defined with initial three cases. There is no issue with initial three cases. The main issue is with this fourth case. So to overcome the issue coming from this fourth case, the second category of the flip flop is introduced. That means your JK flip flop. So the next flip flop is JK flip flop. The main task or the main purpose to introduce the JK flip flop is to overcome the issue or the drawback coming from SR flip-flop, which is your fourth case, which is the prohibited condition. So in JK flip-flop you will learn how you can overcome or how such prohibited condition can be overcome by introducing new circuit in the form of JK flip-flop. Fine. So this is the general concept of the SR flip-flop. Now one more thing I want to tell you about your SR flip-flop, which is, see, always remember that any of your sequential circuit work with one switch that is said to be clock. So now what I am trying to tell you that your SR flip-flop, which is looks like this, two back gates in cross coupling structure, two front gates with direct application of the inputs. One more input is also introduced here, which will be your clock, while the remaining circuit will be same. So this is your clocked SR flip-flop. So this is the circuit for clocked SR flip-flop. See, all the sequential circuit always treated with the help of clock. Clock is nothing but a pulse of train, or you can treat it as an independent switch with any type of your sequential circuit. Now the thing is, what is the need of this clock? See, the simple concept with this clock is, whenever you want to synchronize your circuit with a complex circuit, then just to make a synchronization between number of circuits, clock is needed. So all the time whenever we will deal with remaining flip-flops like JK flip-flop, D flip-flop, T flip-flop, all the circuits I will design with the help of one more switch, which is clock. Now what about its working? Its working is simple. There is no need to get confused with its working. Here you will have to assume, whenever your clock is equals to 1, see, whenever your clock is equals to 1, all the cases will be applicable, which I told you, like 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0 and 1, 1. All the cases will be implemented when clock is equals to 1, while when your clock is equals to 0, your circuit will inactive, or you can say that whenever clock is applied at 0, there is no need to go with this working, because your circuit will not work, it will be in inactive state. So now back to the actual concept of the clock. Suppose you have a complex digital circuit and this small circuit is just a section or a part of that complex circuit, and you are dealing with that complicated circuit, and at a particular time there is no need to deal or there is no need to on this small section. Then just by putting your clock is equals to 0, you can make that small section in inactive region. There is no need to give supply whenever you do not want to deal with this section. So instead of dealing by applying all the time supply at both its inputs, whenever you do not want to deal with this circuit, you can simply make your clock is equals to 0, and when your clock is equals to 0, it will not work. While when your clock is equals to 1, it will work same when clock is equals to 1, or you can say that your clock is set at 1, then for 0, 0, the output will depend on previous state. For 0, 1, your output will be 0, 1, that means your reset state. For 1, 0, again it will be 1, 0, that means your set state. And for the 1, 1, it will be 1, 1, which is your prohibited state. But it will be good if you keep this concept in your mind that you should always go with this clock with the designing of any of the sequential circuit. So now with the next type of flip-flop, that is your JK flip-flop, we will go with this clock switch. Fine. So this is the actual concept of SR flip-flop with clocked switch also. So hope you are following the concept, and if you are following the concept, consider to subscribe my channel and click on bell icon to get updated for the upcoming videos. And in the next video I will tell you about the next category of flip-flop, which is your JK flip-flop. Fine. Thank you.